a great question. I think it depends for some things on like who you're teaching. Like one of the reasons I think people like me as a teacher is that I understand that not everybody's is going to be or wants to be the next poi virtuoso, and that a lot of people find it actually quite challenging even to learn really basic stuff. And so, because it's I'm good at some stuff and I'm really not good at other stuff in life. So I really understand what it's like to be a really slow, like if I'm taking singing lessons, where I really struggle with that. And I think it's you always need to believe in yourself. No, well, if you believe in yourself, you'll do better than you would if you didn't believe in yourself, right? So believing in myself, I will learn singing better than I would if I had a bad attitude towards singing. But I also think that to expect that to make me sing better than other people, I think is foolish. But I'll apply myself to singing, and I'll be like, oh wow, really slow progress. I apply myself to poi, and a lot happens, right? So I think a good teacher really understands things, is willing to understand things from the student's perspective. Yeah, and really able to be like, okay, how is this? Because some people can't even with poi. It's like, I remember teaching a woman, and we kept being like, no, the other forwards, no. And she would always be spinning, and I always be like, okay, let's. And finally, I was like, and she was like, I don't know what you mean. I'm like, okay, look at the way you're spinning your poi. And she's there going backwards, and I stand right next to her, and I spin my poi forwards next to her poi. And I'm like, and she's huh? And I'm like, you see the difference? And she's like, no. And then I suddenly got really curious. I was like, you don't see any difference in how your poi is spinning and how my poi is spinning? And she's like, no. And I'm standing right next to her, and her poi is going this way, and my poi is going this way, like right next to each other. And I'm going, okay, like the direction your poi is spinning. You're like, look at your poi in the direction spinning. She's like, uh-huh. I'm like, look at my poi in the way my poi is spinning. She's like, uh-huh. I'm like, do you see any difference? And she says, no. And there's this pause. My brain's going flip, 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 trying to think like how, and then she goes, is that strange? And I said, it is a little bit, but we're going to work with this, right? And I sort of realized that she's got to, she must have some kind of like this directional dyslexia or something where she really couldn't see the difference. And then I was like, okay, this is what we're working with. And we started looking at solutions for that. So, yeah, so I think that's important. And I think making things fun. Yeah, making things fun and engaging is important.